Welcome to the Brown Spade Podcast Show. We're here on Sunday. Today is Guy Talk. We have plenty of guests. This will be Guy Talk 10. And our main topic today is Roe versus Wade. Let's go. Okay. We have a large panel today, so let me introduce our guests. So first, I want to start with my brother from another mother, Cleveland, co-host.
What's going on?
What's going on? All right, we got Miss Michelle.
What's up, good people? Good morning.
We got the wonderful couple, one of my favorite couples, the Simpsons.
What up? Hey everybody. I appreciate being on here.
All right, we got Miss Rhonda. This is her second time here. Thank you again for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And we have the Miss Beautiful Cocoa Sweet Velvet. Key.
57 Mustang Classic Key.
57 Mustang Classic, low mileage. Hydraulics, yeah.
That's funny.
All right. So good morning, everybody. Everybody good?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
All right.
Good day.
So on God Talk, we talk about a variety of subjects. So we're not going to jump right into the main topic yet. So we're going to start off with the Kevin Liles. For those who don't know who Kevin Liles is, he's a big name in the rap industry, and he owns 300 Entertainment. 300 Entertainment. He has a long list of young rappers, young black men who's rapping, and one of them happens to be Young Thug. Now he wants to put out a campaign saying that they're targeting rappers. The government is targeting rappers or whatever, and I totally disagree. I feel that he need to tell those guys to change the narrative in the music. It's not about, those guys are not in jail because of what came out on the radio. They're in jail because they're accused of a crime. Now they're innocent until proven guilty, but they're not in there 100% for lyrics. But if the lyrics match those crimes that they are accused of, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. What's y'all take?
You know the old saying, watch your mouth? Like, literally.
Yeah.
Watch, like, old people used to tell us that all the time when we were kids. Watch your mouth. You better watch your mouth. Because sometimes that mouth write a check that laying that booty somewhere else.
Exactly.
But, you know, I feel like they're going to be targeted anyway because of who they are. And, you know, you don't help yourself when you create certain narratives and when you brag about certain lifestyles, and then you supposedly perpetuate those things, and you want people to not judge you based on that, or not to pay attention to the fact that you're doing exactly what you said that you do.
Right. But the thing is, again, I still don't feel like they're really being targeted. And I hear people all the time, they always, in our community, we're always talking about give back, they doing this, they're doing that. But then the flip side of that coin is a lot of these new artists, all of them are promoting, most of them, not all of them, a lot of them are promoting gangs, gang membership. Whether it's Crips or Blood, they are promoting this. They on the videos, twisting their finger up. They on there showing their colors and all this type of stuff. And then you got this other type of music, this other genre of rap called drill, which is out of Chicago. And these guys are literally, I mean, tagging each other. And when I mean tag, I mean killing each other damn near daily.
Yeah, over the music.
Over the music. And they talk about it, brag about it in the music. And if you're not talking about, they call it drill music. And if you're not doing that, then you're not real, or whatever the case may be, whatever that little code may be. But it's sad. But my thing of it is, somebody, Kevin Liles, he's at least 50 something years old. He should know that, okay, it's like being, they would say, oh, they're employing people, they turn their life around. Musically, yes, he turned his life around. But look at the young people who's not going to be a rapper. Those young kids who are in those poverty communities that look up to this. And then on top of that, you're glorifying being a gang member. And this is part of our problem. And we're losing our young black men at an alarming rate right now. If you look at all these urban cities, the crime has went up, and most of these kids are in gangs. And it's being promoted. It's being promoted through the music. So my thing is, we have to hold ourselves accountable. If he's Kevin Liles and he's in a position to bring these guys in, you need to tell them, hey, we're gonna tone this down. Da, 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 da. Why don't you do that?
So you think
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just asking. So you think the whole blame for that is just the music, or is it the TV shows?
It's layers. It's different. It's numbers of things. But from a music perspective, you look at these. If you right now, when you get a chance, next time you just play 5 songs. I am not talking about Drake. I'm not talking about Kendrick Lamar. I'm talking about you play 5 songs. You see them, everybody twisting their fingers up. They promote games. They flashing guns. This should not be tolerated. But then they try to flip it and say, "Oh, this is a thing of art. We're practicing our freedom of speech and da 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 da." I get that part, but you cannot hurt somebody, harm somebody, kill somebody, and then you turn around and rap about it.
It's different.
It doesn't make sense.
It's different. It's different if you rap. It's just like I heard a guy. He made the argument that you got actors who play the role of gangsters and all that.
Yeah, I heard that one too.
And, violence and all that in movies. And this is what he said to me. We was in the barbershop, but I told him, I said, but guess what? I said, these are movies. These folks that's out here rapping about this stuff, not only are they rapping about it, they're actually doing it.
Not all of them.
Life.
No. Not all of them. No. Not all of them. But these guys that's in gangs and everything, yeah, they actually doing it. And that's why I was telling my nephew and him, because he's doing the rap thing. I told him, I said, that rap, rapping about, gangster lifestyle, whatever, someone's gonna come and test your gangster.
Yeah.
So you gotta really decide if this is the life that you want to do, because dudes is gonna test. Somebody is right now looking at your video, listening to your song, saying, he ain't like that. I went to high school with him, or I live around the corner from him.
Exactly.
So they're gonna test your gangster. Are you prepared for that?
Right.
Then you really gonna have to be that dude that you say that you are on these songs.
See, and at some point in our community, it has to stop being about money. It's all about money. People do what's profitable. Kevin Liles is doing what is profitable.
That's why
it's not necessarily what's moral. It's not necessarily what's right, but he's doing what is profitable and what gets attention and what is supported. And so at some point, this thing goes so deep that we have to really change our whole thinking, to talk to these kids, start early, because I don't understand how someone outside of the house can have so much more influence than people inside the house.
Right.
We got to stop passing these tablets and phones and it's unregulated to these kids, and the media is raising children.
Right.
And they perpetuate what they want to perpetuate to accomplish their agenda.
Right.
Yeah. And that comes like you said, Key, that comes from within the household. That you have to really build your kids up in order for them to be strong enough to go out here and not be influenced. I mean, you really do.
You really do.
I'm not talking about buying them sneakers and getting them everything they want. No, I'm talking about, setting goals, setting rules, setting morals, and all that in their life. You got to keep your kids busy.
And you have to be the example.
Yeah.
Because the whole do as I say, not as I do time, that's over.
Yeah, that's over with. Right.
That's over. They're gonna do what they see you doing. So when they see parents,
especially this generation.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, these kids. Let me tell you something. Think about
a different breed of kids.
Think about it. We had these same kids back when Martin Luther King and all them was alive and running with Martin Luther King and them. Man, things would have changed because these kids, they not scared. They just gonna do whatever they want to do, and if whatever they feel is it right then, they're gonna do it. I don't care what you tell me.
I mean, let me just say this part. I mean, we're sitting on here and we're talking about the rappers, and we know we've gone through whatever we've gone through in life to get where we are, and put ourselves in positions to talk to our kids and tell them what morally is right and wrong. But we got to look from the lenses of some of these kids and the positions that they're in. A lot of these kids don't have parents that even give a damn about what they're doing. You got parents that's sitting there smoking with you. You got parents that's sitting there drinking with you.
That's true.
And so we're talking from our lenses, but if you got kids out here putting out this type of thing and they're actually living it, they're giving their story, and everybody ain't moral. Everybody ain't got moral. And that's the reality of it. It's a sad situation, but like I said, we're talking as adults who've been through stuff. Daniel, you probably still got homeboys that still doing.
I do. I still got homeboys. I got homeboys and family members in prison.
Exactly.
And, and I still got
still
living in the hood. Yeah.
You know where you came from, but it's your mindset that made you different.
Right.
Some of the people don't have outside influences, and I don't know if you did or not, but your mindset was different. So
my mindset was different. But let me say this though. I'm glad you brought that up, Chico. Okay. But just help me understand this one. Maybe you got an answer that can help me kind of get some clarity.
I got you.
Why is it that and you done travel, Cleveland travel, we done been different countries. Key done travel, we done been to places where people have much, much less.
Mm-hmm.
But way much happier, and they're not doing this high violence stuff on this level. What we seeing in the urban city, we're not seeing this type of stuff in other places.
Yeah.
So that's my whole point. I get it. Yes, you come from poverty. Yes, you may not have an example inside the home, but if you're promoting it and saying it's okay, then that's going to multiply. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, but I think the difference is when I came up in the hood in North Carolina too, and when you don't know that there's money out there, I was happy. Broke. I didn't know I was broke. I didn't know people were supposed to eat cornbread and pork and beans every day. I didn't know. So I'm saying the places where we travel to, everything is poverty. You know what I'm saying? Everything is poverty there. So they don't have opportunities, and they don't have promoters out here saying, I'll give you this X amount of dollars if you put your story on paper. So I just think it's just the situation when you are in poverty, you're happy. You don't.
But is that the only way you can make money? Is that the only way you can make a living? And then even to that extent, it also promoting gang activity.
Yeah, like I said, I understand. I'm not in disagreement with what we're saying on the phone. I'm just saying,
right,
perspective and situations.
Right.
I had a Boys to Men conference that I was supposed to be in this weekend in Pittsburgh, and one of the things that resonate with me was one of my little cousins told us, I have influences, I have outside influences, but I see y'all 3, maybe 6 days out of a year. And once y'all go back, my life continues. So he told us, I appreciate everything y'all do for us on a year-to-year basis with this outreach thing. But the reality,
I don't live with y'all.
Yeah,
I don't live with y'all.
He said I don't live with y'all.
Right.
So y'all go back. I got to go back out here and walk.
You got to go back. Yeah.
So,
And you know what? I feel like it's more like you said, when you travel, the people that I've met, they know that they don't have the most material things, but when I say they will give you anything they have, and they are so community focused.
Yeah,
they're community based. They have
people.
Right, they have TVs and cell phones, so they see other things out in the world. They see it, they know it exists, but they're so focused on their community. And you know, to the point, like you said, when these people go home, they go home. They don't necessarily go back to the best situation. So they have to survive where they are. But that's why I'm always on some each one teach one. Even if you can get one,
right?
And even if you can spend time with one, you know, and if all of us just said, you know, I don't have to heal the world, but if I can just take one person, be a mentor to one young woman or one man, you know, and try to just help guide them and be a consistent, stable, safe place in their life. We can't save the world at one time. This took decades and centuries to occur. It won't change overnight.
That's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going. Everybody good?
Yeah,
everybody good.
All right, we're gonna go to the next subject. All right, so hold on, let's see here. Where's my? We got Miss. Hold on a second here. Yeah, so we got Miss Sha'Carri Richardson, one of the famous runners. Well,
that girl is bad. That girl bad. Yes. That's a bad girl right there.
Well, a few days ago, she got eliminated.
Yep, of course.
So she failed to advance in the 100 meters and for the U.S. Championship on Thursday, stunning onlookers and ending her hopes of competing in the World's Championship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she will not be performing in the World Championship.
Oh.
All right. So let's go to the next one. I'm going to the NBA. First, congratulations to the Warriors. Congratulations to Jeremy White. I paid you on time. But okay. Steph Curry is a good guy. Good guy. I like him. I don't love him, I like him. But for them to try to put him in the top 10, I don't know about all that.
Top 10 is what?
Of all time.
Of all time. Hey.
I think that's a reach.
Well, he's been doing this thing for the past what?
Please, it was the worst championship game series I've ever seen. Ever. It was boring. What did anybody see it? Did anybody look at it?
I watched business.
It was boring.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I could have watched reruns of Leave It to Beaver for that crowd.
Oh,
You tripping.
But do you think he's a top 10 and then after that we'll move forward?
Like that?
I would say he's one of the best shooters.
He is.
I give him that.
All time.
I give him that.
So it depends
Don't
on
make them
it depends on what you like, Daniel. Me,
Mm.
I like a man who can play both ends of the court.
Okay.
Defense and offense. So
Okay.
for me, no, he's not my top 10 because he can't play both ends of the court. But some guys just like scoring. So in their eyes, he's in a top 10 because he's definitely he's one of the best shooters I've ever seen before in my life.
Yes, I mean from shooting the long ball, yes. But top 10, I disagree. And it's all subjective. I'm just asking.
Depends on what you like.
It's
Would you
also,
say top 10 point guards then? If you don't think
Oh yeah. Top 10 part. I give them that. Yeah.
Okay.
But for them to say, top 10 of all time, I'm like, hey, Ritter, I started not to put this on here, but I'm gonna put it on here because you support me. All right, I'm gonna give you that one, Ritter. Hey, but I was gonna clown you though, Ritter. I was gonna clown you, boy, if they would have lost, because I was rooting for the Celtics, not because I'm crazy about the Celtics, because I'm not crazy about. And I think Trayvon, what's his name, Draymond Green. I think he's overrated. I mean, they're like, get the fuck out of here. Sick of that shit. But, okay. It is what it is. Okay, I lost.
So you lost some money. That's why you mad.
That's why you mad.
You didn't say get the fuck out of here, mad.
No, I mean Draymond Green. I'm like, what is he doing? This man scored 2 points in one game. I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you serious? They try to compare him as one of the greats.
Daniel, I don't know. Daniel, he brings leadership to that team, so I don't think they can win without him. That's important.
Okay.
That is important.
All right, so next.
That is important.
All right, let's turn the page. So the meat and potatoes today, we're talking about, the other day was the Roe versus Wade. Now, this bill was passed in 1973. It was the landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States generally protect a woman's liberty to a pregnancy to choose to have an abortion. So this is a very hot subject, and let me say this: we're all adults. We can respectfully disagree. We don't have to get all personal, So let's respect each other's opinions. It's just an opinion. Whatever someone says, it don't mean it's written in stone. It's just an opinion. But the law has been changed, and that's the law. So where do I stand? I don't know. Where do I stand? I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys talk, and then I'll tell you later. So I think females need to go first on this. Y'all females go first on this one, and then us guys will try to fit in if possible.
Look at Keith, she ready.
I hear you, Keith. Keith like, no, go ahead, Rhonda. You start this. I'm kind of on, I guess, a double-sided sword, if you must say, right?
Right.
Women didn't have rights before, and it was a thing that women had to fight for.
What kind of rights?
To get rights to do certain things, voting, just whatever. But this got to be a lesson that our young people should be taking from this is abstinence. Women shouldn't be having babies, but at the same time, if a woman is raped and become pregnant, I feel like she should have the right to abort, So it shouldn't, in this law that's being put in place, even if a woman or if a child is molested and become pregnant, or if a woman is being raped and she become pregnant, in certain states, it's not all states, because California, the state of Michigan, and it's a couple of other states where it's still legal to have abortions, but they will still have to travel to those states just to be taken care of. So to me, it's sickening on one side, but on the other side, I just feel like this should be a reason why people should start using protection or start, practicing abstinence. So it hurt because I have a daughter. Anything happens to her, God forbid. Yeah.
I agree with women. Like it's not my body. It's not my child. I'm not going to raise the child. I don't want to adopt the child. None of that. So I feel like people should have a choice in what they do, because that choice, they have to live with their consequences. at the end of the day. Because what I don't agree with is forcing a woman to have a child that she does not want. It's enough unwanted children here already.
Yep.
There's enough of
This
that.
happened this morning.
That's
right. True. And then they start talking about, all these women on welfare. Oh, and all these people need government assistance and all these. You can even find milk for babies. You can even find
right.
2 months ago, and you like, yeah, let's bring more babies, even though we don't have formula to feed them, and then you discourage breastfeeding because that's weird. Why is your baby sucking on your breast? And like we have so many other issues to contend with, and I don't feel like it's going to make people more responsible. They're not going to be more responsible. They're going to keep having unprotected sex. They're going to keep doing, because even back to the music, it's promoted. It's promoted.
Yes.
So it's like, let's just wild out, YOLO, blah blah. No, like goes back to teaching your daughters. Your body's not for everyone. Your body not for everyone, and teaching your sons. Son, no, we're not out here sowing oats. Let's dismiss that whole.
Right, wrap it up.
And if I could be totally honest, when I speak with my nephews, any young men that's in my life that I care about, I'm like, look, mouths and the other part feel the same, but it's a lot less consequences with the mouth. I'm so like I'm the raw auntie. I'm the one that's gonna tell him like it is. Like, one, wrap it up. If you do choose to go the other route, wrap it up. Other than that, put it in a mouth.
Yeah. What's that song?
The consequences are way fewer. The same environment.
What's that song? Put it in a mouth.
That's it right there.
I can nail it.
It's and the women are left to, ultimately, the women are left to tend to these babies.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta face facts. Like, the women, it's your body. Is you gonna go through the stretch marks and the pains and the this and the that. In a perfect world, yes, the men would stay around and help raise the kids. And some women are mentally unstable. They don't need children.
Yeah, some of them don't.
They don't. It's a lot of mental health issues out here. Women are oversexed. They were molested when they was a little girl, so now they're hypersexual and they doing all these things. And you bring a child into this world and your hypersexual lifestyle, and you got all these men. The child get molested. Like, it's so much bigger than just having a baby.
Yeah, you see the woman that tried to kill all her kids.
Right.
3 of them died. Yeah.
Oh,
what happened?
Yeah, you know
Paulding County. A 40-year-old African American lady. It's one of my Facebook friends' neighbors. She lives about 3 houses down from where it happened.
In Atlanta?
In Paulding County.
Like outside of Atlanta. Like,
I know what Paulding is.
Yeah. And she gave her kids sleeping pills, and she doused them either with gasoline or oil, and tried to set them on fire, and 2 of them escaped. And she was out back watching.
And I hate to say this.
Did she kill him, or she attempted to kill him?
She killed 3 of them. Died.
That's sad.
3 of them died. 2 of them.
I hate to say this, but it used to be a time when you hear stories like that.
It wasn't black folk.
It wasn't us.
Right.
So you could kind of tell, what the person was by the crime back in the day. Like, you'd be like, you can judge.
Yep.
Now you can't do that, man, because
it's hard to do now.
Yeah, my wife was looking at something this morning on social media. I think a lady killed the other lady's babies that she was baby.
Oh, the 1-year-old.
Threw him into the wall or something like that.
Yes.
What?
Yes. I saw that. That was in
Was that in Detroit or no?
Yeah, that was in Detroit.
Oh. It was 2 of them because
it was in Detroit. It was her friend. She told her friend to watch my baby while I go to work.
Yeah.
And he came back. The baby was 1-year-old, was bleeding out the ears and convulsing. And that was terrible. I told my wife about it, and that's why I was like, yo,
that's crazy, man.
If I got to watch our child while you go to work, I have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they just found
Yeah.
found another one in Detroit. The
In the deep
3-year-old
freezer.
in the deep freezer. Yeah.
I saw that one too. In the deep freezer.
Was that us too?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was us. Well, I don't know.
Hey, that was enough. That was
and she was young. She was a young parent too. She was 20-some years old.
So she was the one that did it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's
And
in
he-
And that's
custody
the
too.
thing, like we see so much of this. We see so much of people, you know, why bring a child into this world just to do those type of things? And then you have women that get pregnant, they find out the baby has birth defects or it may affect the mother's life. You know, some women can't carry kids, they could die. And then how Black women have the highest mortality rate when it comes to childbirth.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Even Serena Williams, they was gonna let her die if her husband hadn't come to speak up when she's telling them something is wrong. She had a whole blood clot. She would have died, and they were not listening to her until her husband, and we know what he looks like, shows up and say, "Hey, y'all need to address what she's talking about." Black women die at astronomically higher rates during birth.
Yeah.
Right.
But you wanna make us have babies?
Yeah.
And here's my take on it, guys. And I'm just speaking, but just an abortion in itself, speaking from a woman's point of view, it is very private, it's very personal, it's very complex in having an abortion for our bodies. And so then you take that right away from us. So that I am livid about this overturning of this decision.
Right.
Because it just doesn't affect people that just going out having babies.
Right.
Or getting pregnant. It
Right.
affects these people that for whatever reason, this embryo may be making that mother sick. It's gonna affect us that have insurance. And so those type of medications that they give us so that it can release whatever embryo that has affected our body so that it can move out of the body, it affects that type of stuff. You know, if you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's so complex that it will affect everyone, not just people that are just out there. And I just remember when the law came in and when it was decided that yes, women can go and have an abortion if they decide to. It's their body, it's our body.
Right.
And so now this is overturned. It will affect millions, and this doesn't ensure that people are not still gonna have an abortion. They still gonna be abortions. It's now it's gonna be unsafe.
They just gonna be flying to places that's gonna do it. They may be flying to other countries to do it, like they get the BBL, what they call it, the BB.
Yeah, the BBL.
The BBL. So they're gonna get it.
Someone just posted something. This players, I don't know who this ENT. How many of those are from medical reasons? It's women being irresponsible. So, and here's the thing with the statements like this, it's the women being irresponsible.
Yeah,
but it takes two people to make a baby.
Yeah. So that means two people.
Always, and that's the thing. It always seems to fall on the woman where she should close her legs, where she should do this. Well, sir, last I checked, it takes a sperm and an egg to make a baby.
So, Key, quick question. By you saying that, should a man, I'm talking about the man who actually is going to be the father, should he have a say so with the mother or a say so whether she should get an abortion or not? If you saying it is a man's sperm and, women carriage, should a man have a say so in that?
It took both of them. So I still stand on, yes, it's her body. She chose to lay with that man. He chose to lay with that woman. You made a baby. Now, at the end of the day, it's gonna be hers because the baby is in her body.
No, but it's not hers alone. It's not hers alone.
But what I'm asking you,
he can have a say.
He don't have a say. Men don't have a say.
He can have a say.
He do not have a no. No,
Yeah, ain't no say. We ain't got no say
It's
now.
no law. It's no law.
no. I'm telling you right now. If
But
she,
here's
if
the
a
thing,
woman,
the men just made the law.
Key,
Men
listen
made
to
the
me, Key.
law.
I'm just talking about the scenario. If a man, a man and a woman, or teenagers, whatever, and the male say, "I want the baby," and the girl say no, that's the end of that.
Well, that was his say. He had a say, but she made her choice.
Yeah.
He did have a say.
You know what I'm saying?
He had an
He
opinion.
gave his opinion.
He had
He
a-
said it, and she said no.
He had a say.
He had an opinion. He had an opinion, but because that's
He wanted to keep it though, because
That-
there are scenarios like that.
yeah.
Find a woman that wants the baby. Find a woman that wants a baby. Like there's plenty of women that want babies, and just like women try to like force babies on men, women will get pregnant and say what
That's
to
true.
keep him. Like so,
is true.
neither one is right, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why we got to learn to step back sometimes, be more mindful about who we choose to lay with.
Yeah,
At the
Yes,
end
we
of
do.
the day,
Now, yes, we do. Now, yes, we do, King.
I agree.
Now, yes, we do.
be so quick to lay down, and then when the consequences come, is everybody going their separate ways. But
Yeah,
we gotta do better.
yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
Now, the thing I'm gonna say this, I we supposedly, I'm talking about the country we live in, well, that you guys live in, called America. It's supposed to be a Christian country, but then you don't see nothing. No, seriously, I'm just saying. But you don't see any of the religious leaders. Ain't none of them coming up front trying to speak upon it or whatever. Everybody standing off to the
I
side.
wouldn't say
'Cause they got
America is a
illegitimate kids
Christian
out there,
hot
too.
It
country.
is though.
No,
Huh?
it's a melting pot. America is a melting pot of religions. It's not just Christian.
No. But overall, there's more Christians in America than it is any other religious group.
How do you know that?
Hold on a minute.
I'm gonna say that pastors don't step up a lot at all on any real topics because they have too much to lose. You're talking
Say that,
money,
Michelle.
you're talking
Say that.
tithes. They're not speaking up about anything that's gonna lose
Right.
them money
You're
out of
right,
their
'cause-
pockets. Period.
Because they're no longer about community; they are business. So
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's a business.
yeah,
But my opinion about the whole thing is, I mean, of course, yes, in an ideal world, yes, we want people to be sexually responsible. But this is very dangerous in the fact that, okay, so now you've done this to women, but kids can still have their operations and have sex. I mean, we're in some real dangerous territory. And so what's next? I mean, you know what I'm saying? What's next? Why take this away and not take it, throw it all away then? You know what I mean? Take away all of everybody's rights to be able to do anything to their bodies. This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't
No, it
understand.
doesn't. I agree. It doesn't.
Now I know that they say rappers, what we talked about at first, they're responsible for a certain thing. I think, me personally, I think they passed this law because more white women are getting abortions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk
That's
about
one.
that.
That's one of the reasons.
That's what I think. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons. And you got to think that.
Sister Yolanda is 65% popular. 65% for the record. I'm just saying. You asked me, so hey, I got to go find it. So there you go.
Thank you.
So I know we're dealing with other ethnic groups, but I'm saying because they call. I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. They call us the Christian. They say that we're a Christian state. I'm just saying. Of course, we got other ethnic groups. Of course, we are now a melting pot. I understand that, but they still say that we are come from a Christian background. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm not
Point
saying
made. Point made. Point made.
I'm not saying me, but I was okay.
Okay.
So anyway, and just to piggyback off Brother Chico, I pulled up this video and I agree. And so here's my take on it. I think that, well, let me say this before I play the video. This is my opinion. So don't hate me for my opinion. Just disagree with me. And we move forward. I still love y'all. I think sometimes our sisters in particular, we have to stop joining these and supporting these groups because it's sometimes it's deeper than what we see. And I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm saying we always, we see you guys jumping in, supporting these groups. And I agree with Brother Chico. I don't think this has nothing to do with sisters at all.
Oh,
These are dwindling numbers. And I'm gonna play this video so you guys can check it out. They've been talking about this for a few years back. They see that the numbers are dwindling, but you have to understand that power is in numbers. And you have to also understand there was a reason for segregation, because they understand genetically we win. If we mix with anybody, we win. So it was a reason for segregation. Mm-hmm. And so our females, y'all get caught up in this feminist movement. Oh yeah, we don't have the right. Hey, when you was in shackles, we was in shackles. Mm-hmm. You have to understand that the white woman, she couldn't even vote. But as soon as they freed us, the black man was able to vote before her. This was the beginning of perpetuating this so-called feminine movement, because they felt like they was above us, the white woman. Mm-hmm. We also have to understand child parenthood. That was against us. That was planning to exterminate us.
Yeah.
So we got to stop joining these groups. We joining these BLMs, and Antifa came in supposed to be helping us out. Antifa disappeared. Those some rich white folks came in, disrupted your neighborhood, told you to defund the police. Now where is that going now? The young folks out here ganging up and killing on a daily, and you cut your teeth on. We got to stop being so quick to join these groups. Let's support community, family, and community.
That's my thing.
You want to separate yourself, but the sisters, I'm saying, a lot of y'all want to separate yourself. Oh, it's my career. Okay. And you have that choice. You do have that choice. But if you choose your career over your community, or collectively, we're going to lose. Individually, you're going to win. Exactly. Just hold on. I want to play this video. I want to share this video. So I hope y'all, still speak to me after that.
We good.
All right. I'm just saying we got to be careful, y'all. Our sisters got to stop following that quicksand, jumping in these dang on groups. Y'all listen to this crap. Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
The demographic data showing how the U.S. has changed over the past decade. It is the most detailed account of the demographic changes in the country since the year 2010. U.S. Census data release shows that the United States is an increasingly diverse country, as there have been significant increases in the number of people who identify as multiracial, Hispanic, and Asian. These categories have driven much of the population growth between 2010 and 2020. The multiracial population has changed considerably since 2010. It was measured at 9 million people in 2010 and is now 33.8 million people in 2020, which is a 276% increase. The Hispanic or Latino population, which includes people of any race, was 62.1 million in 2020. The Hispanic or Latino population grew 23%, while the population that was not of Hispanic or Latino origin grew 4.3% since 2020. The white population remains the largest race of ethnicity group in the United States, with 204.3 million people identifying as white alone, but its share of the overall population is declining. The white alone population decreased by 8.6% since 2010. The U.S. is now 57.8% white, 18.7% Hispanic, 12.4% Black, and 6% Asian. The data also offered new details of the country's slowing rate of population growth. The population growth is lower than it has been at any time aside from the 1930s, and more than half of all U.S. counties lost population from 2010 to 2020. New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, and Phoenix remain the 5 largest U.S. cities. Phoenix, which grew faster than any other city in the top 10, surpassed Philadelphia. The fastest growing cities across the U.S. are now in suburban areas. The data release arrives months later than originally expected, as the census took longer to complete due to the pandemic. The delay has forced some states to go to court to postpone their redistricting. States use the data to redraw district lines for the U.S. House of Representatives after each decennial census. Now, the data will shape how $1.5 trillion in federal spending will be distributed to each state and local area. It will also be used by the state demographers to redraw political maps across an increasingly diverse country ahead, of course, of the 2022 midterm election. Our correspondent Susan Tehrani has more details on the US Census Bureau report in this next ground report. Take a look.
The new census report shows that the U.S. population is diversifying and the white population is shrinking. It's a portrait of how the United States has changed in the last decade, and it's important because it is used to redraw the country's political map in the next decade across the United States. It may also be used to help determine the control of the U.S. House of Representatives in 2022 and provide a political edge for the next decade. While the white population did see an increase in some states and communities, the population for individuals under the age of 18 remained quite diverse. Susan Tehrani from New York for WION World This Month.
WION World.
Okay, we're gonna stop right there. So, so they talking about changing this map or whatever. Basically, that's what their panic is about. But we're sitting up here having dialogue, which is good. We should have dialogue. But again, you have to understand there's layers to this. This is bigger than black woman. They're not even making this law because they're making this law because they want their numbers up.
So
they're making these laws. They are making these laws because they don't want to lose their power, because you lose your power with numbers. And let me say one more thing. Hispanic is not a race.
It's an ethnicity.
Mexican is not a race. But this thing right here, what I have melon, I can blend with anybody else, and I'm gonna bring some brown out. That's the power that we have is in our DNA, in this melanated skin that we have. They understand that. We don't understand that.
Exactly.
But we sit up here and do ethnic cleansing. And again, to each his own. That's your body. For the sisters out there, I'm not trying to talk bad about you. That's your body. If you want to get your abortion, that's fine. But to me, it sounds crazy. We've been 12% since I've been damn near 8 years old. I can remember.
Well, here's the deal about that.
Yeah, why our number haven't doubled up? And Hispanics, they don't believe in having them boys. They having them babies.
They having babies on babies.
So here's the thing: when we were in the hood, so they've been doing census since forever. How many of us filled out our census?
We did.
I haven't done
it. Right. And so the majority. Can we trust the census?
No.
Can we?
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
Because please help me. I mean, math wasn't my best subject, but I did okay.
Right.
So you go back and you have a plantation, and you have one family in one house with 400 slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we're the minority.
Right.
How? And so this, we were procreating. We was having babies, and they were taking the babies, and so how have we ever really been the minority?
We've never been the minority, and that's what me and Cleve, we have these conversations a lot. I don't even I don't consider myself a minority, and think
even by the numbers.
But how is
that possible?
But I'm talking about from a psychological point of view. If you keep thinking that you're beneath somebody, then you'll never think greater of yourself.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I tell people, if you hear something long enough, you'll start to believe it.
Right.
You'll start to believe it.
And I believe
these people are better than you, and they're not.
I believe those numbers are worse than what they show us.
Exactly. Because when it comes to statistics about negative things, we're always in the majority.
Always on top.
When it's negative,
we on top.
Right. When it's something bad, we the highest number.
Heart attack, number one.
We the lowest number.
Diabetes, number one. COVID, number one. Anything dealing with us about to lose our life, we're leading the pack.
Yeah. Based on their numbers now. So when we talk about abortion rates,
they even tried that with COVID, that African Americans was more prone to getting COVID than
and we're not.
Any other race.
Right. And we're not.
Right.
But they were putting that in the media. They was putting it on the news. We bought into it.
And they had us
say it.
And they had us mad at each other, arguing with each other about that shit too. Oh, you didn't get your shot? Get away from me. I don't want to die.
Let me say,
You know,
Hey, you right about that. And look, now they about to get us mad.
You all right?
You right.
Be mad. Be mad at a joke.
Now they about to have us. They about to have us mad with each other about this too, because I saw, oh man, so many of my sisters online, they were mad. Oh, Nan did this to us, and this the last thing we need is one other divide. So I mean,
so if let me say this before I forget, I just want sisters to understand. Whoever watched this video, y'all have to understand this right here. Yeah, you know, because I hear it all the time. You know, men been holding us back. Well, let me say this: black men have not been holding you back.
It's white men.
Black men don't write the laws.
Right.
And like I said, when you was in shackles, we was in shackles. When they freed the slave, they freed both of us at the same time. So you have to understand that. And so they get it all twisted. They always try to make it a man versus woman. That's why I don't like to get into this gender thing. That's why I'm real selective on my subjects of what I talk about. And because I always want the sisters to know that I'm supportive of you. I want you to win. I want you to be happy. You know, well, but you have to understand. Stop trying to separate yourself from people that look like me.
And that's the thing. I want us to win. I want us as black men and black women to win. Right. And I'm with you on that. We have to stop all this divisiveness.
The gender war.
Somebody made a comment earlier, and they said we've lost our culture. They've taught us everything about what we did, how we really, our community. They taught us all that is wrong. It's all evil. It's wrong. Right. Don't do that. And they taught you to hate yourself, your culture, your whole ancestry. Yeah. Like, no, hate all that and do this Christian thing. We weren't doing that.
Right.
And we were fine.
Right.
And we were prosperous. We were great. But they'll tell you, oh, that's not the way to do it. And you listen. And you know, I'm about us winning.
Right.
I'm cheering for everybody who
that was part of the agenda anyway, was to divide us when they came into the homes and brought in the food stamps and Section 8. And when they brought drugs into our community, they wanted to make sure that we stayed divided because, like you guys said before, together, you know, we're stronger together than we are individually.
Yes, we are.
And they knew that. And so that's why they poured drugs into our community. That's the
Jedi mind trick. Took the man out the house. Tell the women, you can stay in these projects, but you can't have a man in here. And so then women get to the whole, I don't need no man. What? Baby, I need black men. I love black men.
I know that's right.
And so you can't say me. I don't care what you say. This black man said whatever. I don't make excuses for them, but baby, I'm gonna love the black man forever. You're not gonna make me hate black men ever.
Thank you.
Ever. Thank you, sister. I appreciate it.
So my take on this is, the whole abortion thing, and it's a domino effect, because I know I've heard women, you know, say that men are trying to tell them what to do with their body, and I had to correct, you know, a friend of mine, like, what men are you talking about? Because we don't pass laws, especially black men. We not in Congress. We not passing none of these laws. Right. And I told her, you got to understand, you know, of course, we don't know what it is like, you know, to go through the whole abortion process, but we do understand how the government could come and tell you what to do with your kids, how to do it, when to do with your kids, and where to do with your kids. We understand that, men. We do. You know why? Because we face child support. It's the same situation, and women, they don't want the government in their house when they tell them what they do when it comes to their kids, when it comes to, you know, what they do with their body, what they do with their life. Keep us out of that. But when it comes to child support, then they want the government in their house telling them what to do with their kids, how to do with their kids, where to do with their kids.
That's true.
It's the same thing. And that's my issue with when I hear women say, you know, we don't understand, men don't understand, and the fact that, you know, the government shouldn't be able to tell them what to do.
Right.
And that's how men feel. We feel the same way. I agree. They should not be able to tell a man and a woman, whether they, what they should do with their kids or how they should have their kids or anything like that. So we need to realize that if we're going to keep them out of our house, we need to
keep them all the way out
of our house.
Right.
All the way out.
Out of our communities, all of that.
All of that, because in a sense, segregation was one of the best things that happened.
Thank you. Totally agree.
We always want to be included in everything. Keep us out of your stuff. And I said that in the last podcast. When it comes to child support, I have parted ways with many of women about I don't agree with putting them in your business. Y'all, we need to get together and sort it out.
Right. And let me say this. I think certain situations calls for, for that. For you to set up to where child support is being paid. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I think the man and the woman, that it should be, where they sit down and have a conversation. It shouldn't be. It should work. He driving down the street, he get pulled over and boom.
License suspended in jail.
Now he can't work. Now he can't work.
Now he can't pay child support.
He's in jail. And guess who suffers? Your child suffers.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
community
I agree
that
community where abortion may fit. And I think a man and a woman, they should be able to discuss this, have this conversation, and be able to come up with a situation for their family. I don't agree that the government should be able to tell people what to do, but I think, like I said, it should be on both ends. Because what's going to happen is they change this law. You don't think they're going to change these laws on child support? You don't think the laws on child support are not about to change?
Well, check this out, though. Like, one of the ladies said that you can go to a different state. Well, they're trying to make it where if they find out you went to a different state, they're still going to prosecute you.
Yeah.
So it's so there again, like you said, Cleveland, we have put them in our business, in our homes, in our lives, in our communities so much. And then we get mad when they tell us what to do. Yeah. We're not making the laws. We're not the ones making the rules. And you want to keep giving these people this power over you. And I don't understand that. I don't understand. And there again, you have to be responsible with your body. Yes, it's your body. It was your body when you laid with that person. If you weren't a victim of a sexual assault, it was your body. And so now it's your decision to make, and you need to make that decision with that person you chose to lay with.
That's right.
Because you chose them. I don't care what you say after the fact. He a dog, they this, she a hoe, she this, but you chose to lay with them.
You chose to lay with her. That's right.
You chose, man or woman, you chose. No one is exempt from their accountability and responsibility for this.
Right.
No
I like
one.
that statement.
I will say this.
I like that.
Say this just to piggyback off what Key just said about being a parent. So I mean, in those situations, and the rape thing is a small percent. It's 5%. I mean, it's bad. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's good. It's bad, but it's 5%, and that's ranging from age 12 to 45. Those are rapes with pregnancies. So, but it's a small number when you look at it from a statistic point of view. But I'm not saying that it don't count, because it counts. But I'm just saying it's not like 50% of the people who get pregnant is being raped. That's all I'm saying.
So what is the solution? Now that they passed this law, what is the solution? Because we can sit up here and complain and be upset and be mad. Now what is the solution?
The solution is, I think, like they said earlier, these women gonna start going back to old school, using these clothes hanger. And get that clothes hanger up in there. Doing them at home, and I mean,
that's so sad.
You got people out here putting fix it flat in ass. You know they're gonna have it underground job.
So we got 30 plus. They were doing. We got 30 plus solutions, and that's the one that would be chosen. That to me.
That's not the one we necessarily choosing, but it's
that's what I'm saying. I ain't choosing it. But I'm just saying you got women out here that, I mean, they were doing it before. So I think that's gonna be their solution. Like, it's gonna happen.
There's gonna be a lot of underground abortion.
So ladies, let me ask you a question.
Back to each one.
Is it different? Is it? I've heard this. Tell me if am I right or wrong? But I've heard that the whole abortion process for Black women is worse than it is for white women. Is that true? As far as the procedures and everything, because I heard that Black women are not getting the abortion, getting proper, treatment.
And that's a whole other aspect of the healthcare system, the
In
healthcare
general,
divide
right.
in
Right.
general in America.
Yes.
Black
Yes.
women don't get the same care.
Treatment.
And I've never personally experienced an abortion. I have friends who have, I know women who have, and this is a very traumatic experience for them. Some of them, it may have been 20 years ago and they're still dealing with the mental ramifications of the abortion.
Yeah.
I can't speak because I've never had it, but I just know what women have told me. And there again, even with birth, we don't get the same care. We don't get the same care.
Are young women being told this?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. So are we still dependent on the government? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, why are our women not having these conversations with our young? Because men, we can't have that conversation with them. We don't know what the hell is going on. But why?
Well, it's each.
Having these
It's so much trauma. It's a lot of trauma, and from the mothers, from the grandmothers, the aunties, it's so much trauma that's being passed down and lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Education is going to be the thing, but we have to teach ourselves. They're not going to tell us these things. But they're not going to tell us. We got to educate our own selves and do better.
I'm having these conversations with young men, and I'm hearing the barbershop I go to. I mean, we talk to men, we talk to young men, and these are conversations we have on protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? As far as with the whole abortion thing, I'm telling these young men, like, listen, there's a possibility that it's gonna affect y'all also, because they're gonna change the law on damn paying child support. I already know they are, because I've known women to use the abortion thing. They may lie and say, hey,
they lie and say they had it and didn't.
I know. They say,
and that's not okay. That's not okay. And women need to start being held responsible when you lie about the father, when you had these men paying child support, and you were sleeping with 3 different guys, and you put it on the one that
who got the good job.
It's for everybody, including married couples, because married women lie too.
I'm telling you. Yeah. I know. I'm telling you. But I know some that'll have an abortion, won't blink on it.
And that's gonna be between them and whoever they
I'm just wondering why women are not having these conversations with younger women, because men, we having these conversations with young men. We are 51% of Black men are childless. 51%. 51. Another 30% is married without kids. But I mean, so that 19% of men that's running around here circling, that these women are like, statistics is showing
they spinning the block.
but statistics is showing that
King Dingaling.
Men are not doing the a lot of men are having these conversations and they're not doing.
Well, here's the thing. What happens is, even though it's a smaller percentage, they tend to have the most children. I know some of the most irresponsible women have the most children. Some of the most irresponsible people, men and women who are responsible, they understand what comes with having children. So it's not necessarily them that's having all the babies. It's the irresponsible people who don't care that are having the babies, and it skews the numbers and makes it look like, well, hey, 51% of Black men don't have kids. Well, the 13% that do got 10.
That's what I'm saying. But Key, guess what? But that's 80% of women that are circling these 19 men.
But Cleve, here's the thing though. Now here's the thing. Let's be real here. Those career sisters are not talking about what they're doing. Trust me, they're making babies too. But because they put their career first, they're in that abortion line too. Trust me on that. I'm talking about
that's typically that's typically who's having the most abortion. Statistics say that. Statistics say that.
Right.
particularly who's having the most abortion. Because Shanae and them, they having their kids and they getting on welfare and they enjoying, they benefit from that. But it's the abortion thing is, it's not them. It's not them. But I'm just saying, like, it's we like men, we are having these conversations.
Women are having these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Women have these conversations. Yeah. So, and then the sad part is, because of the dynamic that we've built in America and in our culture and our community, a lot of women don't want to have kids. They don't want to have babies. And it's sad, because that's how we extend our lineage, our wealth, and things like that. But a lot of women are just like, I don't want a baby. So some men, you don't have kids because the woman didn't have a baby.
All right.
Yeah, but
women were on Facebook telling men to get vasectomies and everything. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Y'all trying to, I mean, you're cutting off your community. What are we doing here? It's crazy.
Right. I ain't cutting nothing.
Let's not take the approach where, how about we just be responsible and we take care of our responsibilities. Right. Let's just alleviate. It's just our mindset is so baffling to me.
I know this situation is gonna definitely have people, men and women, be held accountable for the choices they make.
You would think.
Oh,
but where does it leave
life? Men and women may not, hold people accountable, but life will.
But where does this leave the children? The unwanted babies.
I told you, I hate it.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you. I just think it's bigger. It's bigger than just black women.
Yeah, but
they didn't pass this off for y'all. They didn't pass it off.
They not sitting in these conference rooms talking about, well, we don't want black women to have. We want black women to have kids. They not. They don't
want us to have kids.
This has nothing to do with y'all. Well, they do. Depending on how you was raised in your lifestyle, because they want Shanae and them to have these.
They want them to have babies. That's why they take such good care of.
They want them to. They want them to, because they know they're gonna fill their jail cell and they be able to make money off of it. Yeah. But they not sitting in this conference room talking about y'all. They
don't care about us, and I keep telling them they've never cared about us.
When I see women have to care about us, women get upset and be like, why they trying to prevent us from trying to make us have kids? That you're not even thought of in this process.
You're not in the agenda.
You're not thought of in the process. They don't care. They don't care. They don't.
I'm gonna tell you, it goes so far as even like in the foster care system. I don't know if you guys know, but white kids in mass numbers, and I say this because my mom and dad are foster parents. I have had more white foster siblings since my kids were kids. My parents been foster parents since my kids were babies. And I have seen more white kids come in and out of my parents' house. That is ridiculous. Our black kids are not being fostered out. They're being held in the system until they turn 18, 17, 18, until they can transition them over into
prison,
independent housing.
Right.
Once they turn 18,
out in the street.
Into the streets.
Yeah.
That's why we have to take control. We have to do that and stop depending on other people, because we so quick to look at why the government. The government is not for us. We have to take care of our own. I have been a mentor and a big sister for over 20 years. And I'm still very much in touch with a lot of the young ladies that I started out with when they were teenagers. Now they're married, they have families, they have children, they have businesses. We have to do it. We got to stop looking to other people. This is our job. This is our responsibility.
Right.
Keep the government totally out of your house.
That word keep talking about is called accountability.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want us to win. Like I said, I'm team us. I want us to win every time, and it's by any means necessary.
Right.
just need to patrol our own community.
And we have to also have to understand that in the States, you know, yes, it is a multicultural. It ain't just a black and white thing no more.
Nope.
So guess what? All the other groups coming over here, they're about their business. They ain't playing around. They're not getting distracted. You don't see the Asian women jumping in there. Oh, I'm finna support the LGBT. Oh, I'm finna join Black Lives. Listen, they know. Oh, we gonna sit over here. We gonna let them do them. We gonna stay over here, and we gonna keep building our stuff. We gonna keep building these restaurants and let them.
We always trying to be so inclusive with everybody else, and we haven't even taken care of
they
our own
divide
business.
and conquer us the same, and they do that all the time. And that's what I say. So that's what I say. So that's what they do. They get us in the groups, and then they get into your mind with this propaganda, and our sisters buy into it, supporting every group, and they constantly pushes us away and keep us from being focused on prioritizing what's more important.
Yeah.
And like I said on the last podcast, I mean, we traditionally, Black people are conservative. We have been conservative people. We about family. We about, you know, tradition. We're not with all this crazy stuff that's going on. But like you said, jumping on these bandwagons got us all out here looking crazy.
We all out here.
And listen, right? All these rights that everybody, women rights and all that. Listen, what about family rights? What about family rights? What about family rights?
They don't want us to be a strong family unit. They don't want that.
Everybody, all that separation, women rights. No, I that's the craziest thing to me, because we don't like what happened. Like, do y'all actually think that y'all competing when it comes to jobs, when it comes to pay, when it comes to that? Y'all actually think y'all competing with us?
They do.
$42,000 a year. Y'all not competing with us. We actually. We in the same boat. We're in the same boat. So let's start focusing on single out rights. I remember when Ice Cube was talking, when he was trying to sit and talk to Biden and talk to them about, you know, different rights and stuff that he wanted for the Black community. And he was on Biblical Fox and them.
The sister say, "What about us?"
And she talked about but what about us? What about women? What do you got for women? And he's like, I'm trying to get it for.
She said, "What about Black women?" What she said?
Yeah. What about? He was like, he said, I'm talking about community. That covers everybody.
Right.
That covers the child, the men,
and the women.
And I really hate that we keep seeing ourselves as something separate. And there's a lot of unlearning and reteaching that has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to let go of their beliefs, like, and we hold their beliefs over our culture and over what was in us before, and what was in us before worked. Like, we took care of one another. If a woman had a baby, the whole community. When I go to Africa, when I'm in these little villages,
they look out for each other.
Half the time you can't even tell who the baby belongs to, because you see the baby with so many women, like, because the mother needs to go out in the field, so the aunt has the baby, the grandmother, the neighbor has the baby. It's a community thing, because like I said, sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, I thought that was such and such. The baby just strapped up to everybody, whoever got time.
Right.
We've come so far. Don't say anything to my child. Don't touch my child. Don't do this to my child. And it's killing us.
It's killing us. Yeah. And just like, and over here in the DR, over here in Dominican Republic, right? And I'm telling you, I see little kids walking to school by themselves, 4 and 5 years old. They got on their uniforms, walking to school. Nobody trying to snatch them up. Nobody trying to force their hand to do something crazy and unethical. They walk to school, and guess what? When school over with, they come right on back. No problem. No problems. But with us,
look out for one another.
Yeah.
I think what the issue is, I think social media is the biggest community for a lot of people. Like, they're not really thinking community as far as us as people. Social media to me influences so many decisions that people are making out here. I just feel like people want to be important on social media, so we're getting away from really trying to build our real communities and deal with. Now you got this metaverse. You about to start dealing with the metaverse community,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Everything is not reality. It's a sad situation to me. In general, it's just a sad situation.
Mm-hmm. Sad.
Yeah, it's
And let me say this too, why it's on my mind also. So in some European countries, I don't know which name, but there are a few European countries right now, because their numbers are not just dwindling in the United States, their numbers are dwindling in Europe, in these European countries. And a few of those countries, they're now giving incentives on being married.
Babies.
To get married and have babies. They're getting incentives, checks. The government cut checks for them to say, hey, y'all work it out.
That's what lets you know they're in a really dire situation,
That
and
lets you
they're
know they're in a
willing to
dire
do
situation.
whatever it takes
Yeah.
to preserve their culture.
To
Now we need to
preserve-
have that same energy.
We need to have that
and
same
do
energy.
whatever we need to do to preserve
But see,
our
we
culture,
don't-
because they're gonna do by any means necessary.
Sister Key, we don't even know who we are. If
Thank
Right.
if I ask you, somebody gonna say I'm black, somebody gonna say I'm African American, somebody gonna say I got some Indian in me.
Yeah.
You know, so
Don't
we
even
don't
know,
who
and
we are.
not willing to even attempt to learn, because
Right.
you've been so programmed to think what they want you to think. You're not even
Right.
open to learn who you are, who we were.
Right.
And you know, I have to remember at times that when I try to talk to certain people, I have to remember they're not traveled. They
Right.
haven't seen anything other than what they're shown here.
Mhm.
And I have to remember I'm a very well-traveled person.
Right.
I've seen things that some people may never ever see.
Never see.
And it
Right.
just, you know, I have to remind myself. You know,
Yeah.
I was raised in the hood too. I'm from the hood, Southwest Atlanta, all of that.
What?
Yes. But it's
All
so I
day,
can
all
relate.
day.
I get it.
I'm from the West Side.
You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get the poverty. I get it. And I try to tell them, trust me, I can relate to both, but I'm just trying to help you out and tell
Right.
you that there's more.
But it's too. It's
Right.
too
You don't have to stay there. I agree with you.
Educated, that's not even for us to not be, you know, as strong as we are. We got a lot of educated black folks, man. And we just we gotta come together, man. I promise you. I hope I see.
It's all, and see statements like that. It's back to what close your legs, like,
Yeah.
and there. So why are we constantly close them legs?
Jeremy White.
Can we not? And that's we just sat here and talked about going back and forth and being divisive as far as women
Right,
and men,
right.
and then
Right.
you get stuff like that, and it's like
Right.
you still not getting the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the main thing of it is we have to evolve, regardless of where we're from. We have to evolve. You cannot stay if you're born in that element, in that environment. That don't mean you have to stay there for the rest of your life.
Right.
But mentally, a lot of people they can't leave because their mind.
It start off with your thought. I'm telling you,
Start
I
out with your
kid. I used to be a kid. When I was a kid,
You used to be a kid, man.
not used to be, when I was a kid. I'm sorry. When I was a kid. Well, I was always a little man.
Okay.
But, when I was a kid, I'm telling you, I used to be ashamed. My mom used to give me some stamps and tell me to go to the store. I didn't want to, man. I used to be sweating bullets. I hated it. I did not want nobody to see me with stamps in my hand. I had pride when I didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
somebody selling something, let me know because groceries is high.
It's a street now. It's a
I remember one time I was so mad and frustrated. I didn't remember what she told me to get. I didn't write it down. I just went to the store and came back and didn't have what I was supposed to. Had to walk back up there. And I'm talking about where we lived at, and I'm not exaggerating. From there and back, probably about a half a mile, if not a mile.
Hey,
so, man. I was heated. I did not want to do it.
Well, listen. When I was growing up, you know, we had stamps and everything, but I'll never forget. It was a dude that I knew. He was hustling, and he getting to the money or whatever. And we went to the store, and this dude pulled out a bankroll of stamp, and I'm looking at him like.
Wow.
He looked at me. He said, "What you want?"
Right.
I said, "I want that."
Right. Period.
After that, shoot.
Right.
Because I looked up to the dude. So after that, I wasn't hiding that I had stamp. Man, I used to pull that thing out like I had $1,000 in my pocket. Everybody,
book, please.
huh?
Hey,
I said, rip it right on about the book.
Jeremy
yeah.
just said, how was that being divisive? It's divisive when you don't hold accountability to both parties.
Yeah,
because saying close your legs, you know, and not saying it's time for men to stop thinking they gotta poke everything. Like it's a two-way road.
I mean, the thing is, let's not attack.
Right,
right, you know, I mean,
right, because it goes both ways. Like both parties have to be accountable. I don't consider a woman any less. If you want to go sleep around with a bunch of men, yes, you need to do better. If a man sleeping with a bunch of women, you need to do better too. I don't make I don't part in opinion when it comes to gender. We have to do better as a community.
As a community,
it's not just about women closing their legs. It's also about men being more selective about who you procreate with.
So let me say this. I don't when I have conversations with women and they talk about what men do and how men do things or whatever. Most of the time, I would say, yeah, you're right. Pookie and Ray Ray and them, yeah. But I don't support Pookie and Ray Ray and them.
Thank you.
Just like women, you shouldn't support Shanae and them. Like, no,
exactly.
I don't support them.
Right.
I'm talking about the men that I know and the men who's trying to actually make things, you know what I'm saying, better in our society. So, yeah, we do have men that do that. We do have women that do that.
Right. They're both irresponsible.
They're both irresponsible. We have irresponsible men as well as irresponsible women. Right.
But we gotta understand that they both exist. And my thing is, don't support that. Because I have had women to argue me down and want to support. They feel like for instance, the whole thing with the abortion, right? I had a conversation. I'm like, so you think that all women, regardless to whatever the situation is, should be able to, you know, have an abortion and it should be fine. It should be okay. And she was like, well, yeah, because it's her body. I said, so you mean to telling me that the women that's out here who had several abortions, they using that as birth control? You
right? Instead of
I mean, it's her body. I said, see, that's the problem. That's the problem that I have because no.
And see, there's the thing. There's always going to be those gray areas in situations like this because you can't control every narrative. It's impossible. And so it goes back to functioning better as a community, teaching, educating, mentoring. Like it goes back to all of that because until we change this, it won't matter the law. It won't matter. You got to change your thinking, and it's just, and that is what can get passed down from generation to generation because we've passed down enough trauma, enough divisiveness, enough of the negativity. We've passed down our fair share of that. It's time to stop and do better.
Right.
But like Daniel said, though, this isn't even really about us. Why are we going at each other? Why are we mad? You know, close your legs.
Not even our fight. It's not our fight.
And let me say this too. And I want to say this too. I'm gonna take a quick left.
It's our community.
It's our community. Exactly.
Absolutely. It's our community. And another thing, and again, I have nothing against gay people. And I think that's another reason, another party trying to promote that. That's part of population control as well. I'm sorry.
And I'm like, do what you do. Like
a female and a female. I'm just not knocking. Well, that's what you do. That's fine. Male to male, that's fine. But I'm saying you get no reproduction from that activity. That's all I'm saying. Right. So
but we've lost the value
that's part of them promoting that too, to slow down the numbers for certain ethnic groups as well, to promote it. So
we lost the whole, like, sex is just a recreational act for a lot of people. They don't care about the spiritual, the energetic, the other ramifications or the other benefits. You know, when it comes to extending your lineage, when it comes to extending your wealth, we just miss the point in so many things. We're so selfish.
We've been programmed to be very selfish.
Very, very selfish. And there again, we're away from our culture. We lost our culture, and all of this comes with it.
I think
we're the only people that
we have to understand. Yeah, Rhonda. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say we're the only group that can't even get together and save money as a community or even as a family, just to build our family wealth. We're the only ones. Mexicans, they doing it by the mass. They'll have 15 people living under one roof.
Sure will.
Just to make sure their family is good.
Asians, Indians, all of them do it.
Everybody do it except for Black Americans.
Yeah.
Even the Caribbean people, the Caribbeans that look like us, they do it.
They do it too.
And it's not. People, it's like you said, Dan, it's American because Africans come here. Africans come here.
It's a Black American thing. We have some issues.
It's a Black American thing. When you travel, you start seeing that it's an American thing. Everything that we doing that we saying, it's not a world thing. It's an American thing.
Yep.
Right.
It's an American thing. And
Put my tea on that one.
We have to realize that we are in this thing together. That's the solution. When we this law, this thing that they passed,
we shouldn't be arguing over it. We shouldn't be arguing about that.
No, we should be going out in our community, snatching up a person and say, "Hey, look, let's."
Right.
Look, each one teach one. I'm all about community service.
They divide us so much from political all the way down to sexuality. It is so crazy.
And I even had a conversation with a friend. She was saying that I said, so you don't think that men who don't want to have kids is because she kept saying y'all trying to take our rights and y'all trying to. I said, who is y'all? I said, you don't think that if a man doesn't want to have a child, I said, if you don't think if a man is with a woman and she doesn't want to have the child and he doesn't want to have the child, that he's not going to support abortion. I said, I think men are supporting this. I said, you got to understand, we're not sitting in Congress making these decisions. Stop saying that men are taking the right. We're not taking nothing.
Well, we've been taught to see everyone as an enemy except for the actual enemy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna see a Black man as my enemy because you're a part of me. We the same.
Yeah.
Like that little TikTok to go around say either you gonna be with me, or I'm gonna be with you, or we gonna be together. It's like we're the same.
We're in the same.
With this. Like
we gotta stop this in-house feuding amongst male and female. We gotta stop it. Take your best foot forward today. Take your best foot forward today.
You gotta stop.
I told the other day, I'm standing there at Sprouts, and I'm just walking. I stopped, and I was, told the lady, go ahead and go. She looked at me. She on the phone, and she looked at me and rolled her eye. I said, man, I am not your enemy. I am not your enemy. Don't even know.
And interesting enough, Cleveland, I've had to say that to Black men. I've had to tell a Black man, I'm not your enemy. I'm not. I'm always on your team. But they're so used to even Black women berating them, emasculating them, to the point that you can't even take constructive criticism out of love. Right. You can't even take that. And it's so sad. We've been pitted against one another so much. And it's really going to be hard to come out of. I'm always team us. I'm gonna be team us. I don't care. Y'all can be hard to deal with. Women can be hard to deal with.
So Key, when you said that to him, he had to change his frequency, right?
You got to do better, sir, because I'm not your enemy. And so even if it gets heated, I don't think you're my enemy. I don't relax. You need to simmer down.
Well, at least you got that. She looked at me and was on the phone and was like, this, I said, yep, there we go.
Because I'm like, who hurt you? That's always my who hurt you? Because somebody hurt you to the point that you have all this resentment and anger towards someone who looks like you, who looks like your mother,
right?
Who looks like your aunt, who looks like your grandmother, who hurt you that you have so much resentment. And women, and exactly, Jeremy, because we have to understand our power when it comes to men and use it appropriately. Understand that we need one another. We are stronger together every time. We are better together. And that's why they want us to be apart so much. But we can't want us to be apart too.
Right.
We can't want that for us.
And want to be together. And I'm with Key. We gotta start trying to tap back into the essence of where we came from as well. Because again, we didn't have to use the word democracy didn't have to exist in Africa. It wasn't nothing for a woman to be in charge. You had already had some
Exactly.
queens in certain countries that was running their country. So when we get all excited about the vice president and she a woman of color and all that stuff, listen, this is nothing new. You just don't know your history.
You don't know your history.
You don't know your history. So the black man never had a problem with a woman being in charge. And I'm always trying to put emphasis on that and stop trying to let this propaganda from the movies to
TV shows,
reality
TV. Get away from that. Unplug from that because we are not your enemy.
Yeah, and it's not. We don't have a problem with women being in control.
No,
as long as it's
never.
For our household. As long
no,
as
never. Please, never. You can look it up.
Certain men don't. But some men do.
Now, as far as men.
Right. But see, the thing, the typical man is we don't care about you being the supervisor because we realize that now you guys have education now, and sometimes more education than what we have. We have no problem with that. We just want you to just turn that damn switch down when you come through the door and realize I'm the man and you're the woman. That don't necessarily mean I'm over you. That just necessarily mean I'm looking for my woman to come through the door, not my supervisor.
Well, here's the thing. Like you said, tapping back into, I call it your divine feminine energy. We're so many women are used to operating in this masculine energy, whether it's by force or by choice, and it becomes a little more difficult to turn it off and on if you're not tapped in and if you're not understanding that, hey, there's a place for this and this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be, they can't be mutually exclusive. But there again, it goes back into respecting one another. It goes back to communication. It goes back to accountability. You have to be accountable to your partner. And it's just so many layers to everything. Because some women have been forced in these positions where they had to do everything on their own from early ages.
That's true.
And then it's a job. It took me years to sit back and learn it to be like, I want to be feminine key. I don't want to be boss lady key all the time. I don't want to be, hustling key all the time. I just want to sit back and be feminine, be queen and be pampered. Like I want that too. I can do both.
Right.
But there's a place.
I know this off topic, but ladies, do y'all think there's any time when a woman should be masculine?
There are times that sometimes, especially in this white world, I would say yes.
When?
It's interesting because somebody just said when you deal with white supervisors, I checked white supervisors too when I was out in the workforce. Don't play with me, sir.
Yeah.
And you think that's a masculine?
I think that's just you better understand who I am. Yeah. But we all we all have both. And it's about balancing both. So sometimes I might have to turn up and, be more assertive and be more, in your face. And sometimes I can just sit back and my silence will speak volumes.
Yeah, because I think when we think about masculine energy, we think of because what you're saying is not. I don't think that's considered. I don't think that's masculine energy when your boss or whatever's coming at you and you hey, listen, don't treat me like this, or you put them in their place. No, I'm talking about because when is it a good time for a man to be feminine?
When it comes to, and so what's the definition? So maybe we need to define.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Some men feel like showing emotions is a feminine trait.
Exactly. No, it's not. And I think that's where we get thrown off because I don't think or what like just like I've talked to women, they be like, I'll be feminine for the right man. I'll be like, so you can turn it off and on. She said, yeah. I said, so should men be able to turn it off and on? She was like, I mean, no. I mean, why would he want to?
What's the difference?
I said, because if like I always use this scenario. We out in public and a dude run up on us and he got a gun or whatever. And that man look at you and say, hey, baby, today I want you to use that masculine.
But I'm saying both of us gonna be strapped up.
I'm gonna use the feminine energy to run this stream, it's gonna be help. So we gonna switch roles.
Look, Key strapped too, so it's gonna be okay.
Switch roles.
And that don't have nothing to do with masculine energy.
You crazy? No, you need to be masculine at that time. Men should never ever turn that off.
So Cleveland, I tell you what, baby, we about to get robbed. Turn on your masculine energy. I'm gonna live to tell the story.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that, to me, you can't turn that off and on. And a man or woman shouldn't. You just shouldn't. You should.
Well, see, it's not about off and on. It's about balance. It's not an off and on switch. It's a balance. It's a thing of learning how to preserve yourself in life. And we adopt these terms and we leave the definition so loose. You know, it's like, well, she's masculine. Like we just get so, and here again, we get wrapped up in stuff that.
But it does exist that, you know, there are some aggressive sisters out there. And
aggression is aggression. Male,
you know, when they're talking, they're not talking to you, they're talking at you. You know, they kind of overstepping their boundaries. With men, we know not to go there with another man because we know that can cause conflict.
You know, one of the things that me and Yolanda had a conversation about a while ago, you know, my wife, she speaks her mind, and I love it about her. But I know one time we had a neighbor that did something, and she went to the husband, you know, to address it. And one of the things I had
Yolanda, you better leave them neighbors alone, girl.
And one of the things I had to say to her, look, you don't go talk to address him,
right?
Your wife, if you have an issue, because she didn't know who did what, you know, right? Did it. And I say it's not that I'm telling you that you feel beneath him, but it's how a lot of conflict start, and men get killed because the man went off and said something he ain't got no business saying to my wife, but my wife ain't had no right to just go at him. So I've always told her I don't feel like that's. To me, I don't know if y'all want to call it chauvinist or not. I just don't feel that a lady should address a man in a violent way because you don't know.
I agree with that.
I totally agree. Right? Because what is chauvinist? That's not even our language. That's not our language.
How can you protect your wife if
Brother
she's
Chico,
going
you're
out
right.
and she's
thank you.
Neighbor decided to do something because she decided to take her own way, then how can you protect her as her husband when she decides to make those moves on her own?
And you know, I agree. I don't agree with women being aggressive with men. I don't agree. You know, women. I've seen women putting their hand in men's face.
Oh, I've seen it.
Hitting them, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
You know why they do that? You know why they do that? Because they double dare men do that because they know they got the system on their side.
Right.
Let me tell you something. I saw something on YouTube where a lady was talking so aggressive to this man on a train. I think this was in New York. And her man was sitting right beside her. And the man kept saying, dude, I don't hit women. He kept telling the boyfriend, I don't hit women. And then she kept talking. She just kept talking. That man turned around and he beat the shit out the boyfriend.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
He said, I'm not gonna hit you. I'm not gonna hit a woman, but I'm gonna beat your man ass.
So Chico, I get that. You know why? Because based because he couldn't hit that woman.
He couldn't hit her.
But if you want to know the type of man that he is, look at his woman. And my grandfather taught me that. He said, if you want to know the type of woman that the type of man that he is, look at the woman.
Yeah.
Look at the woman.
Because she's a reflection.
She's a reflection.
Oh, we always be reflections of one another.
I had to even start checking myself on the way I was dealing with my son. He's 14 years old. So even women and their sons, black women and their sons, you know, you setting away a standard of how you talk to them and how they're going to expect to be dealt with women out in the world. I'm telling you, man, if we can just get back to what we used to do and how we were, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in. This is crazy.
But
this
that would mean we would have to learn what we used to be without all the conditioning. And you know, conditioning is real.
Serious. It's serious.
It's very real. You know, the mother was the nurturer, and that's what it was. The man was the provider. Now I get times have changed, but at our core, can we just go back to the woman nurturing? Nurture your man, nurture your community, nurture your kids, and men provide the things that they like. It still has to be some type of order.
Have we gotten too far away from that though? That's the thing. So far away. Yes, I can provide for myself financially, but hey, I don't. Sir, come on. Come on, dude. I cook.
Right. You got some females like they feel like because of this new modern day woman mentality that cooking is the bad thing.
Oh,
yeah, because they don't know how to cook.
They can't cook.
They deflect and act like,
you know,
I ain't got to do that. This a new thing because you don't know how to cook, ma'am.
All right, family. We are 1 hour and 40 minutes in. We're gonna bring this thing to a close. All good things must come to an end. And we're gonna let the ladies go one by one with some words of wisdom, food for thought.
Come on, Key.
I've been talking most of the time.
I'm messing with you.
All right, we gonna start. Go ahead, Rhonda. We let you start it off.
I'll start off first. Come on, Michelle.
I'll go. I just want to say that, you know, let's get back to love. Let's get back to loving one another. Let's not hate ourselves. Let's not hate the skin that we're in. And so, like you said, it seems like we have gotten way far away from what we were. But if we can get back at least to me, love, peace, joy, happiness, then maybe we can start trying to get our way back to what our culture really is. So that's all I got.
Okay. Who's next?
Go ahead, Rhonda.
No.
Okay, Miss Simpson.
All right.
Okay, Yolanda, hold on. Before Yolanda start, listen. Don't go back over that neighbor house no more. Now, I love you. Now. You might be running up on men like that.
Listen, that neighbor was gonna get it. Whoever answered that damn phone. It just so happened it was that husband that answered the phone.
All right, go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
Listen. I love Brown Spade. Thank you for having us on. But I just want to leave with us getting back as a community.
Yes.
Us, as Key said, just the nurturing part for us Black women, just nurture and love and respect. You know, I think over these last years and this COVID, you know, we just need to get back to family and caring about our neighbors. And I'm not even mad. Yeah, I'm not even mad at them. Even these neighbors done built a damn wall up against us now.
They done built a kind of wall. They built a
wall up.
You put the fear in them.
I don't know.
You put the fear in them. You did it.
I hope they're happy with the wall. I hope they're happy. But anyway, yes, I just want us to get back to love and nurturing, respect, and that's it.
Good. Next.
Community, love, respect, the same thing that everybody else has been saying. I'm on that same thing. We need to get back to our own community. We need to learn how to love ourselves and love our own community. We need to work on that. We need to work together.
Right.
And that's it.
Kiki.
What everybody else said, it's the same thing. We gotta just team us.
Team us.
Yeah.
Brother Clee.
Chico, you ain't gonna say nothing?
I can say something. Again, man, nice topic. I do want to say that this is an interesting topic to hear different point of views and about all the topics, actually. But I do want to address the guy that said, ladies, keep your legs closed. I know that I'm responsible, and I know that I done had many nights early when me and Yolanda got married, where I wasn't looking to wrap them up because time was there. So it was my responsibility really to put that
Shoot the club up.
So you pull out game suck, huh?
My pull-out game on point. I only got one shot. My pull-out game is the
Might have went to the doctor though.
But yeah. No, but I would just let them know we as men we gotta take that same accountability too. You know, we gotta be responsible. I had many nights where I say, Yolanda, something get in there, you know. But
Yolanda looking at you.
Great show, man. Great talk.
I
know he lying.
I want to say thanks to all our guests. Really, y'all really family, man, because y'all done been on
y'all
here.
family.
Anybody watching, please like, subscribe, share. This topic, you know, it was very touchy because I talked to several women and they was, you know, upset and passionate about it. And listen, I get it, I understand it, but you got to understand that we are not your enemy because we don't pass none of these laws. We don't pass none of these. You know, we're not sitting up there in Congress making any decision. And the thing is, you got to really think, like, am I upset? Is me being upset about this, it really going to help our community? What can I do or how can I, you know, take this energy and help our community? And I think that's where we gotta go with it. We got to help our community. That Congress going to make these laws and rules. White men going to make them for white communities anyway. These laws does not pertain to us. They just don't. So on that note, I mean, that's all I got.
I just want to say that we definitely got to start loving each other more. And I understand, you know, a lot of us come from dark places, terrible environment. But if you still breathing, if you can still hear this, then, you know, start off with loving yourself, of course, first. And then from that point, you have to be a beacon of light to be an example of what love is. You have to display we only display what we are anyway. Exactly. You know, at the end of the day, you know, like they say, hurt people. You're displaying it because there's something inside of you that's bothering you, that's disturbing you. It's interrupting your inner peace. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say also, you know, and I'm not talking about black male, I'm talking about the black man. When we come home, the place where we pay bills, we just want peace. We don't want to battle. We don't want to fuss. We don't want to argue. We just want peace. And again, I'm not talking about it's because it's a different. I'm not talking about the black male. I'm talking about the black man. On that note, I love you all. Peace.
Peace.